1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I've come to notice that one of the hardest questions to answer, why do we still watch The Dark Knight? And it rattled my brain. But after watching all the Batman movies, it came down to 2 movies. So I decided to watch these 2 movies just to make sure, why do I think that the older one is more enjoyable for the people? And what makes it good? Even though that the choreography wasn't that much and the costume design was kind of goofy. Okay, let me just settle this before anything else. Patterson's Batman has the best suit, hands down. Nope, shut up. No, I don't want to hear it. And the Affleck's Batman is 10 times better in terms of combat. But his suit makes him look like a bloated bodybuilder. Not cool. Nolan's Batman. He's the best for Bruce Wayne. Now, I watched both movies at about 11 times. Sounded cool in my head. I've watched them so many times that I've noticed that the background actresses are more attractive than the main ones. And listen, I'm not here to tell you that there's an objective truth that one is better than the other. They're just different. Okay? Sugar Pop? My little almond cookie? My little candy corn? As you know, when we start to compare the performances between The Dark Knight and the Batman, dropping the Heath Ledger and Aaron Eckhart card is like summoning Exodia. Putting Heath's Joker up against Barry Coogan's Joker, Heath is just taking that dub any time of the day. But if you switch Barry with Paul Dano, it might be close. It'll be close. Each one of them was written in a way to challenge Batman morally and mentally. In The Dark Knight, Batman's morality was tested. The message that the Joker tried to deliver is that the people we perceive as perfect, as Harvey Dent, can also fall into despair. They can be plunged into evil, and evil is a subjective thing. The simplicity and intensity of the performances made the movie so immersive, and I think the implementation of the theatrical element of the performances is the sole reason why they were so phenomenal. There's a term that I created on my own called a directional writing, and that simply means you move where the writer wants you to move. Even if you try to be a smartass, you'll still be where he wants you to be, up here. Let me give you an example. You start a dialogue between Rachel and Harvey, then mid-conversation you immediately switch to Gordon, and something bad happens. Then it cuts back again to Rachel and Harvey. And it cuts to another scene with the envelope. It goes back to Rachel and Harvey. Harvey gets choked by Bruce. We go back to the envelope. Then the car explodes, and then Joker crashes the party. Fuck, dude. This shit is good. Jonathan Nolan, David S. Goyer, Christopher Nolan aced it. I just can't fathom that human beings wrote this and not chat GBT. Unlike Matt Reeves' writing, Christopher Nolan had a certain rhythm to his writing where it goes up and not completely down to the point where the viewer gets bored. Just the right amount of dialogue. And that approximately sums up to like 256 words and 1,348 characters per scene average. Hope I'm right. Most of the Batman's villains are more interesting than him. That's why it was really hard to be interested by Batman or Bruce Wayne, just for the sole reason that we couldn't explore him in a way that represented his pain. And I think that's one of the reasons that made me be more intrigued by Matt Reeves' Batman, where we got to see the struggle that Bruce Wayne went through, trying to switch back to his playboy persona. The way that Joker was written perplexed me. He is such an unpredictable villain. And just like what he said, he's just ahead of the curve. In The Dark Knight, we spent enough time with Joker, letting us like him more and fear him. But in the Batman movie, I don't think we lived long enough with the Riddler to actually accept him as a villain, especially in this way. He appeared on screen for about 9 times, whereas Joker appeared for almost 13 times with longer action sequences. What would have been a better way to depict the Riddler is they could have recreated the riddles that was designed to put Selina and Batman in a situation where they have to work it out together to get out of. I think the idea of making Batman grounded sounds cool, but when applied to the whole movie, it'll eventually dull you, and that's why The Dark Knight added some illogical things, but in concept, looks so cool. When mentioning The Dark Knight, somehow or somewhere you're going to end up talking about the man, the one and only Christopher Nolan, and how the scale of his movies play a big part in creating this immersive atmosphere. This, and this. Christopher Nolan is known for the scale of his movies, utilizing these shots to reset the pace of the movie or amplify the emotions of the viewers, depicting these characters that seem larger than life. Walter Fisher and Mr. Nolan found a fine line to the technique of low-key lighting and high-key lighting, eluding the idea of making the movie almost abstract and artful, which not a lot of people would like. Mr. Nolan's movies look like they've been shot on like them old negative film cameras, like an Arriflex BL4s. And from what I know, the movie was shot on multiple cameras, including Panavision, Panaflex cameras, and like an IMAX reflex camera. And man, these film cameras are like magical. In addition to the grand spectacle shots of the city, what makes the Dark Knight movie end so quickly and smoothly without you noticing is that we start with large and wide shots of the city, and then we gradually get closer and closer, more intimate with the characters, until Batman says his last words to Gordon and runs away as we chase him. And I assume that chase scene was shot handheld, insinuating that we are looking through the eyes of the people, listening to Gordon's voice in the background, articulating the complexity of what the Batman represents to the city of Gotham. And for that, I love Christopher Nolan's movies. That love kind of grew like a ginkgo tree, you know, branching out to other things that still included that man. If you want to watch a video that talks more about other Nolan's projects, click on this video. Please just click on it and watch it. Click on this video. Please click.